Hello, everybody. I am a new Vanderpump watcher as of reunion part 1. But thank you, everybody, for coming. This is so exciting. As Mira said, I'm Liz Tashik. I oversee CX at Movable Inc., and I've had the pleasure of working with Alyssa for the last 3 years, and she runs the CRM team at Nespresso, like you said. So we have our beautiful faces here. So I'm super excited, not just because I'm on my 4th, let's be honest, 5th cup of coffee today, but because I'm really excited to share with you all how Nespresso has been able to scale the personalization that they've been doing and talk about sustainability and some of the work we've been doing together for the last couple of years. So welcome, Alyssa. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and the team?
Yes, awesome. Thank you, first of all, so much for having me, and thanks everyone for joining us today. I think you got sort of the basic intro just before, but I think the one thing I really want to highlight is the fact that my team is really super focused on how we can drive short-term revenue. We have capsules that we have to sell every single day and make our numbers, but also to balance sort of that long-term customer relationship and how are we building brand love and brand loyalty. And I'm so happy and grateful that Movable Inc. has been able to help us do both of those things. So let's talk more about that.
Awesome. Today we're going to talk about sustainability, like I said, scaling personalized content and email marketing, and driving efficiencies during a time when I'm sure most of us are tasked with doing a lot more with a lot less. We also have our favorite capsules here. Alyssa's turned me on to the flavors that came out this year, the vanilla and the caramel. Very, very good, but I encourage you to try some of that. But let's get started and talk about a really important part of the Nespresso business. Last year, Nespresso was certified as a B Corp. Can you tell everyone what that is and why it's so important to yourself and to the company?
Yes, so happy to. Becoming a B Corp was incredible. Many, many years in the making. It's something that makes me very proud to work at Nespresso, many of my coworkers too. We are actually one of the largest corporations to date to be certified as a B Corp, so it was a huge, huge, huge achievement. Yes, thank you. So for those of you who don't know, a B Corp certification is something that's awarded to companies who meet very high standards in terms of sustainability, transparency, what they commit to in terms of what they're doing for the environment, for their local and broader communities. It's actually a really massive list and a huge questionnaire that you have to work through, many, many interviews, and it's huge. So we celebrated it a great deal internally. You can see our Declaration of Interdependence there, just above Liz's head. That's something that we all signed internally as a company to show that yes, we are responsible for our own profits, but also for the communities that we operate in and all the people that we work with across our entire value chain. We signed that in our office. You can see above my head our CEO Alfonso live signing it when it went up on the wall, but also all of our retail employees signed versions of it in our boutiques, and that happened across the entire world, not just here at Nespresso USA. So we're super proud of it. You can see we added the B Corp seal onto all of our retail boutique locations. That's what's sort of etched into the glass you can see in the middle. And then we spent a lot of time working with our nonprofit partners that are local, specific to us, as well as global ones. And you can see some of that work that we've done here with the beautiful art on those mugs. The profits of those mugs went to benefit some local communities and corporations that we work with. So it's really embedded in all the work that we do internally as well as externally, and I'm super proud of it. So thanks for giving me the chance to talk a little bit about it here on the stage.
Wonderful, super impressive. How do you promote that status both in digital marketing and specifically email?
Yeah, for sure. So in digital marketing, you can, if you visit Nespresso.com, you can see that we have it right there on our website that we're a B Corp. We talk about how we educate employees and how we educate all of our customers about it very regularly through all of our channels. But I personally think, and not that I'm biased, that email's where it really comes to life the best. That's where we really have the capacity to personalize it, make it hit close to home, make it relevant to that particular consumer, and find ways to tell them stories that are super meaningful for them.
Amazing. Let's dive into that. Here's a visual of one of those examples. Can you walk us through this email specifically and the data that's used to power it and kind of where you get that?
Yes. So this is our coffee origin email. It's one of the ways we can bring, again, some of those sustainability and B Corp type proof points to life. We used our transactional data. We are a D2C brand at our heart. We sell coffee direct to customers every single day. So we know exactly what people are buying, what they're consuming, what they're buying again, and what they like. And then we also have a massive database of sustainability information based off of every single coffee and the origin of the beans within those capsules. And that is, we're very grateful, maintained by our team and our headquarters in Switzerland. So the power that we have here is bringing together that information, that transactional info, with all of that sustainability info, so to be able to say, because of that cup of coffee that you drank, we've been able to do XYZ thing in this certain location, right? In one country, it could be that we help to reinvigorate the bee population so we could bring back to life agriculture. In another place, it could be that we helped them get access to clean drinking water so that they could bring their farms back to life. There's a number of different things. The list is super long, like I said, a massive database, but bringing all that information together was super powerful for the customer. You can see here, if we had gone to create this email manually, it would have taken us over 24 hours to do. That was some back of the napkin math, but truthfully, we would have probably never built that email then. So thank goodness for Movable Ink and the capacity to be able to bring that information to life.
That's awesome. So great that we could accomplish that. What does the actual result from the email look like?
Yeah, the click-through rate here is super high. You can see almost double what our benchmark was at that time, which is massive. Great news that's driving, obviously, commercial success, but also engagement with the brand and education around those sustainability moments.
Awesome. That's wonderful. Here's another example of using Movable Ink to help tell the story. Can you walk us through these sustainability modules that you have in your emails?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is where we start to really dive into the environmental piece of things. For those of you who are not Nespresso customers, first of all, let's talk on a break. I think there's something we should probably chat about. But second of all, I wanted to tell you a little bit more about our recycling program, so hopefully this can make a little bit of sense. So our capsules that go into our machines are coffee grounds encased in aluminum. So we encourage all of our customers to recycle. That aluminum is infinitely recyclable. So we use most often that aluminum to actually just create new capsules. And then the coffee grounds are used to create topsoil and fertilizer, and we share that with some of our local nonprofit partners. And we also then can use it to sell to other gardeners and things of that nature, and then we can put that money back into some of our other sort of sustainability efforts, which is great. So because of the fact that we want so many customers to recycle, ideal would be if every single person recycled. We like to take our information and share it with customers and congratulate those who have been participating in our recycling program, of course, and use just like the appropriate amount of guilt for people who are not recycling to get them into that practice. So you can see here what we shared with customers was based off of their consumption that they had done over a quarter or a month or a year. We sort of flex this module and use it in different ways depending on the rest of the email and how we're leveraging it to say if you had recycled all of the coffee that you had purchased and consumed over that time period, here's what that would look like in terms of pounds of capsules. But pounds of capsules is kind of confusing and maybe not so easily picturable by a customer. So we also will translate that into something like this many cars, or if you stack them all on top of each other, it would be as high as however many Empire State Buildings. So creating that personalization, I think, has been really, really key. And we've seen some really great results on that.
Yeah, for sure. Some of my colleagues have been yelled at in our office for not recycling, so
yeah.
my office managers
Send them
are on
to
it.
me.
Yeah. What kind of results do you see, again, from a actual monetary perspective for these emails or engagement?
We've seen exceptional conversion rates from this, up to 10%, and we pair it on a specific day like America Recycles Day. But we're also seeing some non-monetary benefits, which I think are really important to highlight too. Customers are coming to our sustainability pages on our .com and dwelling there for a long time after they get these emails, so we're educating them, which is great. They are ordering more recycling bags, so we actually see that we are moving the recycling rate because of it. And they're even calling our call center to learn more about the recycling program. We've had people call and say, you know what, I recycle at home, but they don't recycle in my office, for example. How can I bring that in? So we're starting a conversation with customers, which I think is really incredible.
That's really, really cool. Keep your eye on your inbox this November for this Recycling Day email, and add those bags to your cart because they're free to add.
Exactly.
Wonderful. You don't just have these dedicated emails promoting the importance of all of this, but also the message comes through in a modular way, like in some of these campaigns. We all love a good year in review email. This one is no exception. How do you ideate what you put in an email like this?
Everyone at Nespresso loves this email, so I'm glad you guys love it too. I think when we start to plan for the year in review email, which is usually around like the late summertime, we really gather a super large cross-functional team because everyone sort of wants a piece of this pie, and we find a way actually to make it work. I think, we've talked a little bit throughout the day around how do you manage all the different stakeholders and how do you make sure that you're getting the right content and at the right time. I think this is one of those moments where we really do have the flexibility to tell a pretty long story and people stay engaged in it. So we spend time working with our brand team, our product team, obviously our sustainability team. It's a really nice moment to tell a little bit more about our B Corp story, to talk about things like recycling, to talk about products we launched, coffee, machines, the whole sort of gamut, but in a really customer specific way. So yeah, we love this one too, and we love the fact that it gives us the chance to work super cross-functionally as well.
For sure. Some of these info points are really interesting. What happens if you don't have the information for the customer? What does that experience look like?
Yeah, we spent a lot of time thinking about fallback content and what the interplay of certain pieces of fallback content would look like in combination with maybe personalized content. And probably in the first iteration of this, we created like a million permutations and combinations just for ourselves to be able to picture it. And then we're like, you know what? This works just fine. Like, let's let the engine sort of run its magic. And we've been super fortunate that the customer experience has really held up, and the fallback content works really great in addition to the personalized content. And our customers really tend to love this.
Yeah, you've had a couple years of this email. What kind of results do they see?
Yeah, you can see here that customers are spending a lot of time with the email. The amount of time they're reading it is actually 8% higher than our average email, which is a lot. I'm sure you guys can recognize that. We're seeing higher click-through rates than the prior month, which is super meaningful, especially in an end-of-year time frame like this, comparing like a November to a December. That's really important. And I think even beyond that, if we can look at the next slide, you can see the power that this email has. Yeah.
Yeah, we love seeing feedback like this in real time. It looks like you get a lot of social engagement.
So much social engagement. So we have a number of sort of like spaces on the internet where our customer groups have sort of naturally occurred and congregated. In Facebook, on Reddit, you can see some of that content here. People are sharing their like snapshots of their year in review, which you can see here, almost like competing with each other around it, which is super interesting. But I love what you can see on the far side here, which is like, I didn't see it, where is it, I want mine. So the fact that we've really ignited some of that brand love, I think is super exciting.
Yeah, it's really fun to see these stats, not just of what you've consumed, but also what that could mean from a sustainability perspective, or also like recommending those new capsules to try. So really awesome job to your team for that. Moving along to a topic I think we can all relate to, finding ways to drive efficiencies within the marketing program is incredibly important. On average, CRM teams spend about 90% of their available time on production-related activities. That doesn't leave a ton of time to think about the fun stuff and the strategy behind what you're doing and personalizing that experience. So now more than ever, finding efficiencies to free up that time is so important, especially since we know over 60% of customers will engage and will purchase from clients and brands that personalize the experience. So how have you been tasked to find efficiencies within your team, and what are some ways that you've been able to accomplish that?
Yeah, I love this question. So obviously this is definitely the year of AI. We've talked a lot about that already today, I think, but if I could say like, what's the second theme of the year? It has to be driving efficiency. I think we're all feeling that. So we build our emails in-house. Our team is small but very mighty, but we always want to find ways that we can be as efficient as humanly possible, maximize the revenue, like I talked talked about before, we have goals in terms of obviously what we're selling on a regular basis, and we also want to make sure that we're creating a really wonderful customer experience. So the more that we can automate that and sort of like set and forget specific pieces of it, the better. So we work really closely, obviously, with Movable Ink to do that.
Yeah, here's some examples of that. You've got quite the library now of kind of the evergreen modules, especially that are data-driven and personalized. How are these modules pictured here, placed in your emails, and how do your customers engage with them?
Yeah, absolutely. I love these modules. You can see here our abandoned browse, our top sellers, our abandoned cart, and a couple of loyalty modules as well. The fact that we can sort of like plug and play these at any time, like, oh, this email is a little bit short. Oh, this email doesn't really have a strong enough call to action. Like, let's quickly like plug and play any of these strips at any given time. We're using the Movable Ink Pixel to capture, obviously, the customer behavior on the site. We also have a few data feeds that are coming directly into Movable Ink, so a lot of very intelligent personalization that's taking place there, and that the team can very quickly sub right in and be able to help drive revenue.
Yeah, I'm sure abandoned browse, abandoned cart, you have those triggered programs like most retailers do. Are these replacing that, or how do they play along?
Gosh, no, not replacing it. I think what's really special about these is that they help to serve as reminders, right? So one is sort of like lifting the other one up. We had done some testing originally when we launched them. Now this is part of our business as usual program. We've actually stopped testing it because it's been working so well, but we saw that together these things really, really rose. And that's, the way that we're leveraging it as part of our overall marketing strategy and ongoing part of our calendar.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I know these modules absolutely catch my attention, especially since we're so trained to expect that abandoned cart email if we're not ready to buy that second. This is a great reminder for when that is deleted, right? So how do these actually perform for you?
Yeah, I think first of all, we can talk about efficiency. You can see here we've probably saved about 200 hours per year, and the fact that we can, like I said, just quickly pull one of these slices in without having to actually build something wholly new. You can see the lift in click-through rate that we're seeing on our emails by including them. Like I said, we had done a lot of testing in the very beginning, and I would say we're driving over $500,000 on probably a semi-regular basis, let's say every half year or so, with the inclusion of these emails based off of last touch revenue. So they're a powerhouse, and we're really grateful for them.
Awesome. The final example here is one of my favorites. Replenishment is a really tricky thing to get right in retail because that window of when you could or should need to place an order just varies so much by customer and by product. Nespresso has a specific feed for this. Can you talk a bit about your strategy behind these reorder modules, and how do you know it might be time for them to reorder?
Yes, absolutely. Reorder is key for us. This is obviously how we make our revenue on an ongoing basis. People continuing to sort of fill up their cupboards with our capsules. I am super grateful and very lucky to have incredible partners on our data and insights team who have built a proprietary model, which we call our TNOD, Theoretical Next Order Date. So based off of how much a customer purchased in their last purchase, how often they have been reordering, we can take a pretty darn good guess at when we think they're going to shop again. But more than that, we can also guess what we think they're going to buy, and we can also make some pretty good recommendations around other things that they could and should try. So maybe if I hadn't told you about the flavored capsules, you still would have found out from our models anyway. But so we're leveraging the TNOD model to help inform this new slice, which we are going to be integrating into those regular repurposable evergreen slices that we just talked about. So early days on this one, so it's a bit of a sneak peek for all you guys, and hopefully maybe I'll have the chance to come back on stage again in the future and talk about how it's been performing.
Yes, should we all be so lucky as to have a TNOD feed?
Yes.
All right, we just have a little less than a minute. Is there anything next for Nespresso that you want to talk through?
Yes, I mean, we've got a new machine launching later this year, which is very exciting. It's got some integrated milk solutions, so it'll brew a whole latte for you, which is wonderful. We also have a number of new flavors launching in Q4, so if you are an espresso drinker, check back. There's lots to come. And then beyond that, we are continuing to ideate on what new ways we can bring our sustainability messages to life for customers and really help to encourage recycling. So lots to come in that space.
Awesome. Definitely check that out. Thank you so much for taking the time to share this all, Alyssa. I hope you got an idea of how to scale some of this, and check their website for movable pink themed mugs as well. Thank you all.
Thank you.